kind of the offense to this point in training camp, where you guys are?
I think we're improving, especially from the start of training camp to now. Of course, today wasn't up to our standard in terms of penalties and stuff like that. But like I said, just a base summary for you, I definitely think that we've improved for sure.
What do you think some of the areas that you feel like you need to improve offensively?
I mean, like I said before, anytime I get this question, whether it's myself or as a team, we're not perfect in any area yet, so we're going to keep improving in all aspects of the game.
It seems like it's been the last 3 days or 3 practices or so, it seems like the passing attack's been stuck in a little bit of a rut. How do you break out of it? Do you feel like it's close? Do you feel like it's about to be there?
I mean, it's all right. Like I said, some of it's me, some of it's I'm dropping the ball, some of it's just plain and simple things, stuff that it's practice. I've been a part of games where we have a red zone Friday, we run the play 3 times, we don't hit it 1 time, and then Sunday comes and we hit it the first time we run it. So like I said, our guys are talented enough to get the job done, and of course when we don't have the days that we want to have, it's just about how we respond. So days like this, the day that we didn't want to have, it's a great opportunity to see how we're going to respond on Thursday. So like I said, it's inevitable. You're going to have these days in training camp. That's why we're out here. That's why we're out here working. And defense, they won the day at the end of the day. So like I said, it's about how we respond on Thursday, and we got to come out hot. So yeah.
At this point in camp, what are some of the benchmarks that you're looking for to see that you're where you want to be offensively in terms of improvement, building chemistry, and all that?
Like I said, we're just trying to improve each and every day. I wouldn't say we're too focused on benchmarks. We're just trying to be better than yesterday. So
in an era there, like some quarterbacks don't play in the preseason. Just how comfortable do you feel like? How do you feel like? How many games do you feel like you need to play in preseason or snaps?
I think we at least need to see the field each and every game. I think that'll be good for our team. It'll be good for Tanner getting that in-game stuff. It'll be good for me, the guys on offense. I don't think I know some guys they sit out the whole preseason, but I don't think that's the case with us. Just because of the new team, new offense and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean I don't. That's kind of how I feel about the situation. So.
Justin, you obviously have experience working with Garrett. What does it take to build the camaraderie with the other receivers?
Yeah, just reps and time, conversation. I think that's pretty much it. So just reps, conversation. Getting on the same page with them. Mentally, and if we see a certain coverage or certain concept, we just need to talk through it and kind of be on the same page when we hit the practice field. So.
How have those conversations progressed from the start of training camp to now?
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely progressed a lot. I think at the start, especially OTAs, guys were so focused on, doing the right thing, lining up in the right formation. But now, since the guys are getting the plays down, we're actually able to talk about a, certain concept, a certain route, and kind of detail things up a little bit.
Justin, how are you feeling physically right now?
Feel good, bro.
In particular, how has your relationship with Allen Lazard grown since the start of camp?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely grown a lot. Like Coach said earlier, he's a vet. He's savvy. He's very smart when it comes to just football in general. When we're in the team meetings and installing plays, he probably asks the most questions. And so that's good to see from him, and the younger receivers get to learn from him and stuff like that. So he's been great, and our relationship has definitely grown closer for sure.
Yesterday we saw you hook up with Brees on that long pass down the sideline. It's unusual to see a running back that far down the field. So
yeah.
Can you describe just what kind of chess piece he can be and his versatility in this offense?
I mean, yeah, that's what I was saying to you guys in OTAs. Brees' hands, when I first got here, they surprised me. So, I saw a highlight from him from the Tennessee game last year and that touchdown that he caught. So, you get to practice with him and working with him. You can tell which guys have natural hands and stuff like that. But he had a amount of catches yesterday where he was, whether it was from the receiver spot, the slot, or the backfield, coming out of the backfield and catching the ball. So, it's a great weapon to have, and I'm pretty sure we're going to utilize him in that way. So.
Is the toe an issue at all anymore?
Nah, not really. I just had to. Probably still a little bit swollen. I just had to go from a 12.5 to a 13. So I'm all good. Other than that.
How would you assess how camp is going so far for you?
Camp's good. You don't really play football until you start putting the pads on and everything. And today was more of a get back on track period. Second and long, third and long, or third and manageable and stuff. As a receiver group, we had a few drops today, and started off with me, and something that obviously isn't something that we want to hang our hat on or anything like that. But personally and with our receiver group, this is probably the most talented receiver group I've been a part of in my 8 years, top to bottom. Guys that are really determined, guys that are really putting in the work, not only just like from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint, trying to learn the game. And it's been fun. It's been really fun being with this group of guys, being challenged, adding a guy like Tyler Johnson and Josh Reynolds to our group, and makes it way more competitive. And it's been great learning with those guys and going out there and competing with them.
What's the transition been like for you personally? Because you were so ingrained in that system that you played in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You were so ingrained with that quarterback, with Aaron, and now it's kind of, what's it been like?
So I had Hackett my first year in Jacksonville, and then when I went to Green Bay and going to year 2, he obviously became the OC. So I've been in the same terminology and offense my whole entire career. So to try to forget all that stuff and the coaching points and the terminology has added a challenge. But Tanner and his offense, there's a reason why he's here, and the offense that they run, it's been great for them. It's been working very well. Obviously coming from Detroit and everything, and I'm excited to be a part of it. And it's been a challenge trying to learn the terminology and everything. But at the end of the day, football is football. You can call it what you want. A curl's a curl, a dig's a dig, and a go's a go. So I just need to stay focused on making sure that I'm knowing exactly what it is that they're asking me to do out there, so I can go out there and be my best.
What has the communication and the conversation been like with you, the receiving group, and Justin, as you guys work to really get on the same page?
So what's the question here?
What has the communication and the conversation been like?
It's been great, whether it's been on the field or in the meetings, of just kind of hearing what he's thinking, and he's also been very receptive of how we're thinking, how we're processing things, and when we're expecting the ball, and just understanding on how things can change depending on the coverage or depending on the leverage of the corner or defense, and it's been very, very positive.
Is there some uncertainty for you that you'd be back here, like in the offseason? Obviously, the contract. What did you think your chances were of being back here?
I wanted to be here. When Coach Glenn got hired, I met with him. I told him I wanted to be here. I came here to continue my legacy and to be a part of something great and changing the culture. And even though the past 2 years haven't gone that way, it doesn't mean that steered me away from my goals, which is to come here and be a big part of the change and the turn of things here with the Jets. So I'm glad that we were able to figure things out, and I'm still here and to be a part of this new regime and to be a part of something great.
Alan, what did you know of Justin Fields before you got here, and what kind of things have you learned about him since you've been working with him?
Yeah, obviously I played Justin for a few years when I was in Green Bay. He was in Chicago. Watched him in college, and he's been a phenomenal player ever since he's been young. He's been on the top of the recruiting boards and stuff like that. But I always thought he was super talented and athletic, could throw the ball, and just knew that the situation in Chicago is, it's an uphill battle, kind of for anyone there. And so I knew that. You could see the production that he had last year. I think the first 8 weeks, right? He was 6-2. Something like that, 5-2 maybe, and then obviously he had to take the back seat for that situation. But I thought he did a phenomenal job last year. Just what he's able to do with his leg just adds such a huge threat to the defense, and that's not to take any away from his arm talent and his ability to be able to throw the ball downfield and accurately. And he's been doing a great job of that. I think the biggest thing that we're working on right now is just kind of working out the kinks of just like the timing of things, especially routes that require the timing of him hitting his last step of his job, planning, throwing the ball, and us both having the trust in each other that we know where the ball's going to be and that he knows that we're going to go make the play regardless.
What was it about AG that made you want to continue to stay here and play here?
The fact, there's many things, but a big part of it was the fact that he played not only in the league for a long time, but he played for this organization. And the fact that he has a lot of pride and he knows what he was getting himself into by coming here, and he wants the challenge. He wants all the noise and all the doubts just to prove him wrong and everything. And so he's someone that I want to go to war with, and the way that he's been approaching this whole thing and the way that he's been leading the team has been phenomenal. And I'm glad to be a part of a team with him.
Sorry.
Just back to Justin Fields for a second. How long do you think it typically takes to really build that kind of chemistry that you're talking about, where you trust each other, you have all those things worked out? It's almost like second nature. I mean, is it something that by the end of training camp you feel like you're there, or do you think you need some, real game experience together to cross that?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably I think we only need training camp, but there's nothing that can replicate the game, and so. Those first few games will be imperative for us to be able to go out there and execute and be comfortable and to grow from that. But I think that through OTAs and through training camp so far, we have, 3-4 more weeks left of this, and I think we'll have a better understanding of just of the timing of things, the plays that we want to run. When you get into camp, you install the entire playbook, but you only use about maybe 40 to 60% going into a game week actually. So when we're able to scale things back and kind of hone in on the plays that we like and detail them up, and we can have those tight conversations, then I think that's what will make a huge leap for us as a group.